Hello, how are you? Welcome to our yearly YouTube. We used to do multiple YouTubes all the time. I'm doing this specifically because when we do our Zoom meetings or our open meeting, we get about 50 people, 55 people per month. When I do the YouTubes, you get anywhere from 600 to 1,000 views. So this way, I figured I'd reach out and recap what's happening, what happened over the past year. What our year end was July 31st. Also discuss what the future looks like budget wise. As you all know, that there was a maintenance increase. So I'm going to start with that. But welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a beautiful summer so far, and we're certainly trying to make this a good experience living in Winston Towers 300. Anyway, let's start with the budget. I know that we had a maintenance increase, and a lot of people are probably curious to what happened. Okay, first, let me say this is our third maintenance increase in the last 18 years. So, if you moved in the building in the last 3 or 4 years, I'm sorry that you're getting an increase, but we've handled money fairly very carefully here and make sure everything goes well. I've also been given instructions before I left my home today that my wife's last words were, "Please speak slowly and clearly." So she's always giving me tips. I could guarantee you I could talk a little slower, but I'm sorry, I don't know how clear I could speak. But anyway, I'll try my best. We just had a 3% maintenance increase, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. And I wanted to get into it. That's why I want to do this video. We've had a surplus here for a long time. We've had a surplus because we've been very diligent about what we've done. And I'll give you an example. Again, people that are living here long term know exactly what we've done. Some of the people living here the last few years really don't understand this. I'll give you some history, okay? First of all, we've had a surplus here for many years now since I've been on the board. That surplus came about. We've made multiple deals with Time Warner and Spectrum where we put over $400,000 in the bank. Our washing machine, our last deal, we put $125,000 in the bank. And ironically, I'm sure a lot of people may have forgotten this. In 2021, 4 years ago, during COVID, I was told about a PPP money. That was the Paycheck Protection Program, and I was advised by our attorney at that point to try to apply for it. I was advised by our auditor and some other people, don't waste your time, etc. So anyway, I started working on it. I worked on it day after day. I worked with Valley Bank on this. I worked with various attorneys. I worked with various auditors, accountants, CPAs, etc. And we got $495,000. Okay. In addition to the $495,000, the money was also forgiven. We did have our share of problems during COVID. There was one instance, I believe more than half the employees here were homesick. We were paying a tremendous amount of overtime, et cetera. So we had our share of problems during COVID. I just rattled off to you about $1 million worth of money that we raised here. That's not including antennas on the roof that we rent. That's not including storage closets, key fobs. That could go on and on and on. So we've had a nice surplus. Unfortunately, that surplus has now been eaten up over the last 4 or 5 years. I'll give you some other stuff that's affecting our budget at this particular point, which I want to do as well. Okay. First of all, just to give you some bare facts here, I have some paperwork here. I've actually done the electric bill, for example. As I'm sure you all know, that PSE&G has raised the rates 18 to 20%. That tremendously affects us. So let me talk about the electric for a minute. We had a third. We used to buy our electric from a third party. Okay, we outsourced it to a third party. We had great reductions, etc. I did that for many years. I did that for about 7 or 8 years, and that has dried up also. They couldn't get the rates, and that rate dropped about 6 months ago. So we had to go back to PSE&G. People don't know what we pay here for electricity. We pay about $450,000 a year for electricity. We pay about $38,000 a month. A 20% increase would be about $90,000 a year increase. So that's part of why the maintenance has gone up. Our water bill is $270,000 a year. Again, that's about a $54,000 increase for our water. So we're right now at about $144,000. So that's part of the reason we raise your maintenance. In addition to that, the employees get a raise. We just negotiated a new union increase. We have a payroll here of almost $2 million. They're getting they got 3% raise most of the year. They're going to 3.5% now. There's a lot of details, a lot of perks they get, a lot of overtimes. We unused vacation days. If people don't take vacation or sick days, we pay them at the end of the year. So you're looking at probably somewhere conservatively about $100,000 raise there. So between electric, water, and our employees, you're looking at almost $250,000 increases just in those expenses. I'm not counting other expenses, materials, tariffs that definitely affect the building, things that we buy, P-tax, parts for P-tax. A lot of the parts come from China. A lot of the stuff we buy come from other countries. So the bottom line, it definitely affects us. So I apologize. I'm sorry that we have a maintenance increase, but we've done a great job. Like I say, 3 raises in 18 years. I believe the garage, we had 2 $5 raises in the last 20 plus years. We still have very inexpensive parking here based on the real world. So that's why I wanted to explain this. I don't want to send a letter out, a cold letter. You're getting a maintenance increase, and go through all these facts. I want to tell everybody why this is happening. Um, we do plan on making a new deal in October with Spectrum, which will also, I've had preliminary talks with them already. We will be getting a sizable advance from them. So hopefully next year things will be a little differently. Some of the people that represent us, our CPAs or our the company that manages our money, have asked me year after year after year to raise everybody every year, whether we needed a raise or not. And that's just not the way we've done business here, and that's not the way we feel. We raise your maintenance based on our need, not just to raise maintenance every year to build up a big surplus. We had a surplus. So that takes care of the budget stuff. As you can see, our expenses have gone up, and the employees get a raise every single year. So it's going to be affected every year. But of course, we'll try to do our best to keep it down or do the best we can. So I hope that answers some of your questions. I'm going to go over a whole bunch of stuff here. I want to emphasize the budget because I think you have a right to know this is your money. I also want to talk about the Palisadium. Okay, that's another subject that seems to be very sizable, especially to one particular resident here, but it affects all of us. Okay, so let me give you some history about the Palisadium. And again, there's what's called attorney-client privilege. There's certain things I can't go into. Okay, this is an ongoing lawsuit. I've urged people not to discuss this on social media because you don't discuss ongoing legal action. I just don't think it's proper. But I could discuss some of the things that are public and some of the things that you could find out. And of course, you should know where we're going here. And there's been some negative things said about this, which I'll get into towards the end of this, okay? So let me go back. Prior to COVID, right prior to COVID, I don't know if a lot of people know this here, and I'm sure most people don't know this. The Palisadium sued Winston Towers 200 and 300. They wanted an increase, okay? We have a long-term agreement with the Palisadium. They had no right. We have what's called a CPI increase every year. We give them an increase based on inflation, and they sued us anyway. They wanted an increase right before COVID. We won that lawsuit, by the way. We did not give them an increase. Getting into the lawsuit, as most people know, we had 47 years, I believe, left on our deal. And again, a lot of stuff I'm going to say I believe or an opinion or whatever, because I'm not going to go exactly to the date or the exact number. I'm giving you exactly what's happening, but I may be a week off or a month off, okay? They sued us for that. Then what happened was we had a deal. When the governor closed down the Palisadium or all health clubs, of course, everybody went along with that. When the governor said health clubs have to reopen, we were very patient. We waited a long time. We wrote the Palisadium numerous times asking him what their intentions were, and we never got a clear answer. And obviously, they had no intentions at that particular point to reopen the Palisadium. So we mitigated the problem to the best of our ability. When I say the best of our ability, we're not going to mitigate what we had at the Palisadium. They had an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They had exercise classes, a lot more equipment than we'll ever have. Juice bars, spas, I could go on and on and on. So anyway, we instituted a lawsuit, and somebody in this building says, why is this taking so long, et cetera. So that's why I want to tell you this. Number one, 18 months into the lawsuit, the Palisadium countersued us for $11 million. They claimed that we breached our agreement. So we had to fight that lawsuit. That, of course, made things go much longer, okay? So that was phase number one. Let me go to my notes here because this is a long sequence. So 18 months and they sued us for $11 million. We went back. We fought them on that. We went to court, and to make a long story short, we lost. We lost that motion. Okay, we wanted to have that dismiss the $11 million suit. The judge. I was in the courtroom, by the way. I went to court with our lawyer to hear the case. The cake was baked, as they say. And I've said a lot of this on Zoom before, but I'm bringing this to the attention of people who haven't heard this. It was already pre-planned. The judge already had his clerk write papers on this. So as soon as our lawyer and their attorney got finished stating their case, the decision was made, and the decision was that they can continue suing us for $11 million. We then went ahead and we did what's called a second look. We wanted the judge to take a second look. We went in there, and the judge, after several months, and by the way, the judge was supposed to do the second look within a couple of weeks. This took a couple of months. By the way, everything they say will take a week or 2 weeks, takes 2, 3, 4 months. It's just amazing. But again, also in the middle of this case, let me backtrack for a second. The original judge that we had originally retired, okay? So now they assigned a new judge. He had to get up to speed. That took many, many months. Okay. So we go back, and the judge takes a second look. We go back to court, and the judge writes very carefully that he made a mistake, that he should have ruled in our favor. He threw out the $11 million lawsuit, so we are no longer being sued for $11 million. And he also put in there, which is very, very important, I want people to note this, he put in there that the Palisades breached their agreement. He put that in writing, which is very, very heavy. So the judge already admitted that. Okay. So now we went through two different lawsuits. Then they sued us. They wanted to limit us from suing them for 47 years to 2.5 years. They claimed that we should only be able to sue them from the time that the Palisades closed, at the time that we opened up our gym. Again, we fought that because even though we put a gym in, it's nothing like what we had in the past. Okay, so we fought that, and fortunately, once again, we prevailed. We were worried about it because, of course, if we was only limited to 2.5 years versus 47 years, that would have been, very, very disheartening and concerning. But again, we won that case. So now we just won two of the cases. Okay. Then there was the third case. Okay. Let me just go over that for a second. Okay. All right. Okay, so they went in, and then we just went to a third case, which, believe it or not, happened. I'm starting to lose track of everything. I'm really sorry. I apologize for that pause. We went to court about 2 weeks ago. They wanted our expert testimony. We have an expert testimony from a very highly rated CPA firm, accounting firm that did all our damages, who put together all the numbers they believe that we deserve in this case and how much money we feel that we've been damaged by. They wanted that case thrown out. We went to court about 10 days ago, like I said, and we won that case as well. Okay, so we've gone to court for 3 different cases in addition to the second look by the attorney. So we won every case. And the lawyer said to me at the very beginning, when I say the lawyer, our attorney, said, Roger, there's a lot of battles here. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some, but the whole game is to win the war. So far, we've won every single battle here. So we've also had case management. We discussed with the judge about 10 days ago as well, and we're looking at somewhere in the fall going to court. So this will finally come to a head, we hope. We have a retired, I believe retired, an attorney in the building that goes on social media, has made numerous comments about the way we're handling this, and it's very, very sad, disheartening, because he's made comments like that. We lost that case, which we did, but we had the second look, so we basically wound up winning it. That our lawyers really weren't up to the task, and they were kind of rookies or whatever. It was making certain accusations, which was very, very sad, because that's not true. As you can see, which I've just told you, we've won every single case that has been brought our way thus far, and I hope we continue to. And I really think that the unit owners here overall, I want to say 99.9% have been very supportive and have been very, very nice about this. And to tell you the truth, very few people even discuss it with me. So if anybody's trying to start trouble, I'm not a lawyer. We hired what I think is a reputable law firm. Like I say, he's 3 for 3, 4 for 4, whatever you want to say. And we're doing the best we can. And putting negative things and bad things on there is not going to help anybody. I really don't understand it. So, anyway, that case means a lot to the building. Um, we have to know reality. There's a lot of things that could happen. Hopefully, we'll settle this. Hopefully, we don't go. If we go to court, we win a large sum of money, which we're anticipating. There's always the possibility an appeal could take place, and that could take even several more years. So it's not that cut and dry. It's not that simple. So there's a lot of work that's being put into this, and please be a little more patient. This person's also made comments that this case has been going on for 5 or 6 years. That's not true. It's impossible. I mean, COVID started 5 years ago. The case is not even 4 years since we've started. We have slip and falls in the building that have taken over 5 years. Okay, this is a major, major case here. So, anyway, bear with us. Thank you very much for hanging in there. And believe me, all the unit owners will know exactly the results and what what the final agreement is, or what the jury decides, or whatever happens in the future. So, thank you with that. So we took care of the budget. We talked about that. So let's talk about some of the other stuff going on in the building. So that's what I want to talk about as well. Okay. We have a lot of stuff that's happened this year and a lot of stuff that's going to be happening over the next 12 months as well. For example, we're doing the high rises, getting a new heat exchanger. That's going to take place in the next the next couple of weeks. You're going to be getting a date. I believe it's the middle of August. We're going to be putting a heat exchanger in the high rise. That's from the 16th floor up. All the piping has been done. We've already installed the new Hobie valve. We've spent in excess of $100,000 on the high rise. We're hoping that you're going to have much, much hotter water come winter time. And for the first time, we're going to have what's called redundancy. You're going to be able to, God forbid, if anything happens with the heat exchanger, which gives you the hot water, we have a backup system now. All new buildings, and I've mentioned this in Zoom meetings, all new buildings have backups, okay? We're in a situation here, if the low-rise or high-rise heat exchanger craps out, or whatever word you want to use, we won't have any hot water. So we'll remedy that by doing this, and then when this works out, hopefully, come the fall sometime, we're going to do the low-rise as well. So that's a very, very big project. I know you've been hearing a lot about the car chargers. We have decided on certain things. It's taken us a long time. And again, people have to understand the infrastructure of this building. The building is 51 years old now. We don't, transformer-wise, we didn't have a certain amount of power. We had to manipulate a lot of stuff. We're going to be putting a stand outside the back door with the back doors. I think there's about 6 or 7 spots that you'll see it. And you'll be able to charge your car. There'll be a pedestal there with 2 chargers for 2 cars at a time. You'll be able to charge your car like from anytime after 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning, where they give like 12 hours a day for people to charge their cars. And there'll be an app on your phone, etc. I know this has taken a long time, but just to run the wiring, okay, for the electric cars is $25,000. This is a pretty big project. And again, like I say, there's a lot of manipulations because we don't have the proper power in certain places, and transformers are very, very expensive. So we're trying to get around that a little bit. So the electric car people, hopefully this will be remedied in the next, I'm hoping next 6 weeks or so. The terraces, they're finishing the 20 and 21 line now. That'll give us, about 180 terraces that have been done already. We still have about 3 more years to go, 2.5 years to go on this project. The next stop is going to be behind the loading dock, over the loading dock. What I'm trying to do is do a different part of the building every time we do it, so the same people don't have to hear the noise continuously, and try to spread it out to be a little more, unit owner friendly noise-wise and all that other stuff. So we'll be going back there. Hopefully that'll be done by midwinter. And then midwinter, we may go back and do some terraces in the back, as long as the pool is still closed at that particular point as well. Hope I'm not talking too fast with my wife. I mean, she should be used to the way I talk after about 47 years. But anyway, sorry about that. The P-Tax, okay? I'm going through everything. We ordered 10 additional P-Tax about a month ago, brand new ones. We're ordering 10 more right now as we speak. We'll go into that in a second. We have a tremendous problem here with hedge funds and people that are buying out companies. And the more companies that are bought out, the harder it is to get service, to be honest with you, okay? Because nobody really cares. They're firing half the people. Nobody cares. No, it's just amazing, okay? And I'll give you an example on that. And I know people that live on the ninth floor will understand this, okay? The button for the elevator, the service elevator, was broken on 9. So let me tell you about the buttons too. We never had any broken buttons on any elevators until COVID hit. So since COVID, people are using the elevator. They're using their keys, they're using their canes, they're using their knees, they're using their elbows. It's unbelievable. And we must have had 10, 15 buttons broken already. The last one we had was similar to a couple of others. Whoever broke it pushed the button so hard they broke the back of the elevator. It had to be welded, and it's going to cost us over $2,000 to replace a button. So I'm sure the regular person is saying, "Come on, how can a button cost $2,000?" It's deeper than the button. This is all electronic. There's a motherboard. There's a whole bunch of stuff involved with this. So what happened was I was very, very upset about the elevator company because if the button breaks, you should be able to fix it within a couple of days. This went on for several weeks, all right? So I told Melissa, our manager, to please call the elevator company and tell them that if the elevator button is not fixed by tomorrow, which was last week, by the way, that we're going to have to get another elevator company, and magically the button was fixed the next day, all right? So this is the type of stuff that we're going through right now. The garage door, I don't know if you noticed, the green and yellow, green light and red light was broken for about a week or two. We had that fixed about a month ago. It cost us over $4,000. It broke again. The door company that works on our door is probably involved with this building for 30 years. They gave us a proposal for $8,000 to repair it. I was very, very upset about this because we just had it repaired. And they said they came up with another story. I then asked Melissa again, let's reach out, let's get another quote from another door company because this doesn't make any sense. We got another door company who fixed this for us in one day and charged us, I believe, under $1,000, not $8,000, okay? So these are the type of things that we're doing, but these are also the type of things that we're facing now. I've mentioned this in Zoom meetings, and again, people that listen in know I've said this. It's a different world today. People just they don't value your business the way they used to. There's nothing I could do about that. So the only thing we could do about that is change as much as we can. The washing machines, for example, has worked out very good. We basically are doubling our income right now, which is helping our budget as well. Of course, we've had a couple of machines that had a few problems here and there, but overall the machines are working fine at this point. We have a different deal that we used to have in the past. In the past, we were in a revenue sharing deal. This time we made a deal where we're in a rental deal. We rent them at a much less cost than we used to give. And we're going to probably wind up, right now we're making about $6,000, $7,000 a month that we weren't making, which is a lot of money. And once our maintenance agreement kicks in, it'll go down to about $5,000 a month. But we're talking substantial money. And so far, so good. We're very happy with that. The annual garage repairs, we're starting now. We're going to start having the garage. We have to move cars around. Right now we just shored something up underneath the basketball all-purpose court. We're going to be working on something there. We've had several engineers give us a complete evaluation of the garage. I'm happy to say that overall there's nothing urgent. We did shore up something under the basketball court because we're going to start working on the next couple of weeks. And we do plan on spending about $250,000 to $300,000 per year over the next 4 or 5 years, putting the garage in great condition. Okay, so that's a big concern of ours to make sure structurally the building's always sound. So just want to let people know that we're on top of that as well. The rooftop units, the new HVACs on the roof for our hallways. Last year I was not happy. Okay, at all we paid $1.2 million. They tweaked it all year. They're tweaking it this year as well. We've had a few problems, not quite as bad as last year, but we're aware of what's going on and we're trying to resolve that as well. And so far, so good. Right now, as I speak today, things have gotten much, much better. Let's hope it stays that way. The Sky Room, we have an air conditioning problem in the Sky Room. It's an interesting story. I think I did this in Zoom also. we had a situation where our P-Tacs were blowing up, which is really troubling. That the P-Tacs run out of Freon, they start leaking. Believe it or not, some of these P-Tacs are 8, 9 years old, 10 years old already. So getting them fixed is very, very complicated. There's not that many repairmen that want to do this work, and in the summer it's very hard to get a repairman here because they're very, very busy. So that's an ongoing battle that we have almost every single day. The rooftop units I mentioned, we had air conditioning problems in the lobby at the beginning of the summer. That was a warranted compressor that we didn't have to pay for, but that kind of stopped working. We have a problem now with a coil in the sky room. We got a quote for a new air conditioning unit in the sky room about a year ago. Believe it or not, the quote was $100,000, which was just outrageous. But we made certain adjustments out there. We didn't need to replace it, but the coil up there had just burnt out, and we'll have to get a new coil, which we'll be voting on in the next meeting, which will be in September. We have to get a new coil up there. I think it's about $26,000. As a matter of fact, we voted on a closed meeting. We're going to ratify in the next meeting. We're going to be ordering a new coil upstairs. We did a lot of work with our IT stuff down here. Techie Tech, our IT company, has done a lot of work. We've enhanced our firewall to make things safer and more secure. We've done a lot of things to make the internet quicker. We've set up a lot more things. We spent a lot of money bringing our whole technology setup down here under control, and we're doing very well. We have several new camera companies on board here. As you know, we have cameras throughout the garage. We have cameras in all the elevators. We have cameras in the front door and the back door, etc. So that's used and utilized quite frequently. We stay on top of the cameras all the time. Want to mention too, the landscaping is beautiful. We enhanced it tremendously in the back door where there was never any plants at all, where the transformers are. We've redone that whole area, which looks beautiful. We redid the whole area where the guest garages on Palisade Avenue. That looks beautiful. We redid that. And we did the North Promenade, like I've mentioned in Zoom meetings also. Please take a walk back there if you have a chance to see the beautiful landscaping we've done back there as well. Let me just take a look here because we're going to keep going. The pool company, very disappointing. Okay, we change companies all the time. It's not just the pool company; it's the people that work for these pool companies. They're not the same. When I was a kid, the lifeguards had a nice suntan. They were sitting in a lifeguard chair, etc. Those days are over. These kids come in; they don't even have bathing suits on. They have socks on. I never saw a lifeguard with a sock on. Half of them don't have a whistle. They're sitting together. So it's a battle. It's an ongoing battle, and it's disappointing. So I'm mentioning it because we're aware. We're aware of what's going on. So we're making the best of a situation that we're not that happy about, but we just keep trying. That's the best we could do. It's a seasonal thing, and I do not enjoy pool time. Okay, the time of the year when we open the pools. I mentioned that. Also, I want to mention the DCA. By law, you have to have a carbon and smoke detector in your apartment outside your bedroom. Okay, that's the law. So they show up here several months ago, unannounced, by the way, and they decide they want to go into every unit and start checking the units. So of course we escorted them into units. They also gave us a bill for $21,000. Okay, which again, there's nothing we could do. That's the law. And just to go back on that for a second, that's another thing with the budget. We had a lot of one-offs this year. We had a lot of situations where we had the carbon thing. We had some other many issues where it was 20,000 here, 15,000 unexpected expenses. So that's part of life, and there's not much we could do about it. But they're coming back again towards the end of August. They're going to come back for the second time. We've discussed it with them. There's going to be no charge the second time. But I will say this so I can go on record now. If they come back a third time, and I'm sure there's going to be some people that don't put them up, there's going to be a hefty charge for that. And that's going to be from the state of New Jersey. I think I'm not really sure. I don't want to say it. I think it's $150 a unit if from the state of New Jersey. And there will be some type of fee from Winston Towers because we're sending security guards up there. We're doing spreadsheets. We're doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm just asking you in advance, be prepared, be ready, and I hope you see this video. You need a carbon and smoke detector up there. Our maintenance department will put it in up to you for a nominal fee. We're not making money on this. We're charging you basically just a little bit of money for the time that men are putting it up. We have smoke and carbon detectors in stock now for people that need help and want us to do it for you. We'll do that. Um, there was a situation in the 8 line, which is interesting. There was a falcon up there that gave birth to little falcons that had eggs up there. And there were a few unit owners, and I say a few, I'm going to say like 2 or 3, to be honest with you, that were upset that we weren't getting rid of this falcon. They were worried. And the state of New Jersey came here, again, I'm going to say this 3, 4 months ago, and told us if anybody touches those eggs, okay, we're not going to get a misdemeanor. It's a felony account. If you touch them, you're getting arrested, okay? So we're going to listen to the state of New Jersey. We didn't touch it. It was on somebody's terrace. And I want you to know that's the 8 line. I live in the 5 line, which is right next to it. I haven't seen a pigeon back there in months, okay? So I'm laughing because the falcons take care of the pigeons, and the pigeon population, the 7, 8, 5, 6 line, et cetera, hasn't been this good in years. And I apologize to some of the people that were upset that there was a falcon back there, but again, there wasn't much we could do. I think that situation's been rectified now. The eggs were hatched, and from what I know, I think there was one falcon, I think, born back there. What happened to it, I really don't know, to be honest with you. So that's the falcon story. Let me just look through some of my notes here before I start signing off. Okay, there's some other stuff I want to mention. I do want to mention that I got a letter from somebody on 22, and I believe that this is the way it really should go. People are not putting the garbage away properly. Please dispose your garbage properly, okay? We go through garbage bags here. I want people to know that we have the porter go through garbage bags. If we find your name on an envelope and it's on the floor, you're going to get a fee, which we give a gift card to the porter for going through the garbage. This is not about making money. This is all about keeping the building clean and safe from any things that we don't want to see. Okay. So anyway, please throw your garbage down the chute properly. Also, want to mention that the building socially we've done. There's been a lot of progress made here in the last couple of years. We have food trucks now. Some of the people may not like it, but I will say we had a food event here about 10 days ago. Over 150 people showed up at the food truck. We have 2 bagel brunches. We have an annual barbecue that we just finished this past weekend, which was tremendously successful. I'll go back to that in a second. We have a Halloween party for the kids. We have bingo that we brought on this year. We have water aerobics. We have the JCC that sponsors chair exercises. So we've done a lot of stuff here socially, and we're trying to have people, have a little more fun and, get to meet each other, etc. We've done some dessert parties, which was, again, a lot of fun. People brought their own desserts, etc., and shared with other people. So we've tried that as well. We've done a lot of stuff here. We're also planning on restriping the spots in the garage at some point. They're starting to fade out now. We're going to do that properly. And the bottom line is that the building's running good. That's my opinion anyway. We're doing the best we can. Going back to the barbecue, we put 426 chairs out there by 6. The barbecue started at 6 o'clock. By 6:15, almost every single chair was taken. The only chairs that weren't taken were, spotty chairs, single here, a couple over there and there. So we had a tremendous turnout. We probably had 600 or 700 people there. It was very, very successful. The weather, we couldn't write it up that way. I personally wanted to do a little earlier in August this year because I believe that the later you go into August, the more the thunderstorms start coming, etc. So it kind of worked out beautifully. Could do a better night. Before I go, once again, I'm going to say this, that I always say the same thing. Number one, if you have something negative to say, you have a complaint, please, reach out to the manager, reach out to me, reach out to the board of directors, okay? There's no reason to go on social media and make negative comments. It just doesn't make any sense. I find that most of the comments on social media that I hear, they're not legitimate comments. Most of them are not legitimate, okay? And like I said, this is a big building with a lot of different people, a lot of different opinions, and we just do the best we possibly can. This is a lot of work. I want to thank the board members. They put a lot of work into this. We meet every 2 weeks. Of course, I want to thank our managers. I want to thank Melissa, Tony, Walter. They all, they're all working hard. We have 3 people in our office. We have, the building's much different. You're going to hear this at the annual meeting. We have fingerprints to get into gyms, and we have stickers to get in the garage when you get a new car. There's a lot more work here. That's basically the bottom line. And we have the same staff with a lot more work. So bear with us. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. Like I say, any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, leave a note or leave a message at the management office or with the front doorman. I'll always get back to you. Thank you very much. Stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in.